Ah, my dating life. One that was virtually non-existent until I was 15 years old. It's been a long, rocky journey. Well, I guess it all started when I had my first crush, aged 9. I'd say. You know, us boys, we always had that childhood sweetheart who we'd like to sit next to in class, who we'd like to invite to the clubs. I invited this girl to the Lego club, man. It was great. Of course, I didn't date anyone till I was 15, but it's important to go back to the origins of when I first felt love. And how did I used to express my likeness to this girl? Well, I used to, oh god, I used to email her screenshots of SMG4 videos on email. Oh my god, you'll never imagine. I didn't even have Instagram till I was age 11 in the summer of 2015, but before that I just had email. Oh man. So I used to flirt with this girl by reciting Guinness World Records to her in the playground for 15 minutes straight, because back then I had an enhanced photographic memory because I didn't use devices, and I just spat game all break time, just getting her attention. She'd be like, wow, cool. And I'd tell other guys as well, but mostly to this girl, just to impress her the most, you know, because I was just trying to spit some game when I was 9 or 10 years old. Oh man, it's so good to reminisce the days. We were so innocent back then. We didn't have a care in the world. I'm just imagining going back to my primary school days now, of how we used to interact with the girls and everything. It was a different time, man. But I thought I'd reflect on the ridiculousness of it. I used to ask her favors, like when my computer audio broke, I'd tell her to search up a Super Mario song on her computer so that I could hear the audio while I worked on my own laptop. I'd plug my headphones in to her computer and listen to the music, and sometimes I put on an SMG4 video. So this guy made Super Mario 64 mods, which I thought were hilarious. I did not care, man, I was just a young kid. I'd sync up the visuals on my computer with the audio on her computer. Oh, I just thought it'd be funny to reminisce the times I first had a crush. Let's fast forward to when I was 13 years old. Now I was going to a boys' school, but there was a neighbouring girls' school who had girls on the same school bus as us. And we used to just chat sometimes in break. And I was that quiet kid, you know, I like my Nintendo. I like sitting near the front of the coach with my friend, just playing stupid videos all day, man. And sometimes the girls would come over and say, "Hey Alex," and have their nice smile to try and get my attention. And it felt good, you know. And around age 13, I started texting girls for the first time. And this is how I initiated my first conversation that felt serious with a girl. So age 13, I started to have quite strong feelings over text with a girl. And she and I texted back and forth on Snapchat for about 4 months, and we would say things like "I love you" to each other. And eventually we met up, and she turned up half an hour late to the meet, and we just walked around the park, chatted for a while, maybe an hour, and then we said goodbye. And after that she was like, "Oh, I'm not feeling this." I'm like, me too, because all the connection we had was on the text and we didn't really hit it off in real life. So that was when I was 13. Now, I texted girls like this, about 2 more girls, when I was 14, but then after I turned 15, that's when my first proper relationship started. Well, I say proper, but we were 15 years old. We called each other boyfriend and girlfriend at least. That's proper enough in this context. So when I was 15, I had a girlfriend for 2 months, and it all started off when I invited her round to watch a movie. I had 2 other girls come, but they left early, so it left just me and this other girl. And it was quite a magical experience because she was my first kiss. We just snuggled up on the sofa and got closer, and then we had our kiss. And it was pretty magical. I was quite forward back then, and we met up like this multiple times, every week for the next 2 months, or 1.5 months really, because it died down after that. I saw her every week, we FaceTimed, we'd end it with an "I love you." And then naturally the spark of the relationship just died down. And exactly 2 months after we got together, we broke up. And it was really sweet because I wanted to do this properly. So I met her in the park. I was just like, "Hey, I just feel like the spark of the relationship has died out." She was like, "Yeah, I agree." I said, "This is goodbye then." We held hands at the end of that and we said goodbye to each other for the last time. So that was really sweet actually. My first 2-month relationship. And oh boy, did that kick up my first year of going out to parties and stuff with girls. I was 15 and I was just overcoming my social awkwardness. I found my other buddies who really respected me and liked me. And we'd go to other teenage gatherings and we called them motives. So I went to my first motive about 3 months after I broke up with that girlfriend and snuggled up some girls who were just interested in me. There was this one girl who I'd met the previous week who invited me out there, and it was just sweet. Like, we were just nice and intimate. There were a whole load of other people there. So it was like I was amongst many in a park where teenagers just hang out and make out and stuff like that. So it was like quite intimidating actually being in a new environment. But at this point, I'd overcome quite a few of the social difficulties I had just by growing up, by going through puberty. So it was a lot easier for me back then. Now this continued for another few years. I'd just meet up with girls in the parks and the motives, and that was all good. But also, when I turned 16, I had a fling with this girl I was very intimate with, and that went on for a month and a half. It was a bit like my previous girlfriend, and ever since then it's been more or less the same thing, with a girl here and a girl there, meeting parties, motives, and we just casually get along like that. But yeah, I've only ever had that one relationship when I was 15, and that was quite sweet really. So, who knows when I next get a girlfriend? May it be this year, may it be next year, may it be now. We'll see how it goes, but I really like the flow of relationships and love. I love how spontaneous it is. And I think I have a bit of a roadblock in my mind because I have quite a logical and planned brain where I think, okay, the relationship should start now, like a schedule. But it doesn't work like that. The feelings of love and connection are so sporadic and spontaneous. You can't predict when they happen. So I have to learn to just let it go, because I'm not perfect. I'm a student of the game like you, and even I still have my problems, despite my previous experiences. So the thing I have to work on now is just to let go a bit in the relationship and let the flow of the energy of the girl I'm with take me to a new place when I'm hanging out with a girl in the future. The point is, I have to be more present. I have to just let it happen, feel the girl's energy, because I'm trying to be more spiritual in my relationships here, see how it goes, and treat her well. Like, I've read in the book The Way of the Superior Man, like I've mentioned before, that you should have a polar relationship. So the two poles would be masculine and feminine. It can be any distance from the middle apart, but you have to kind of meet them at the exact opposite. Like fully at the North Pole or fully at the South Pole, or the masculine and the feminine pole. And you have to harness that when you're in a relationship or you're hanging out with a girl. And these feelings can generate a blissful moment of love and intimacy. So overall, I think if I want to be in a relationship soon, I just have to let the flow of it happen, because I believe I have a fear of things ending badly. Even though the one time I did end it with a girlfriend, it was all in a mutual agreement and it was the best thing for the both of us, I should stop being so afraid of the worst happening and just let the relationship flow out. As the feeling of love and intimacy comes, you cannot predict it, you cannot plan it, it just happens. So I hope you can learn from what I've talked about in terms of the flow of love and just letting it happen, and realize that love comes and goes. I know this sounds very fairy tale-ish, but love really is that. You can't force the best love. The love comes to you, at least in my experience. Oh, actually, no, I haven't really experienced true love like that. I only had a 2-month relationship when I was 15. But I think there's a lot we can learn from 20+ year marriages, 50+ year marriages, and those who are perhaps more spiritually connected to each other. And I will use that in my dating journey going forward. I hope you enjoyed listening to my experiences. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.